Christian Decline, the top 15 completed by Matthew Higgins in the 275. So the top 15 at the moment: Edquist, Decline, Pilker, Van Dijk, Van Vugt, Coppens, Heinarts, Flint Schuring, Oscar Christensen, Spencer Shinner now up into 10th place, having started a little bit further down the order in 19th, and is ahead of Chris Harnan, Lars Zenin, Dan Ginchard, Bart DeWitt and Matthew Higgins running at the top 15. Those drivers, obviously pending any post-race sporting and technical checks, will be the 15 point scorers with 25 points for a win. And the top three now starting to close up a little bit as Decline trying to close up on Edquist, and in the meantime is being hounded by Olli Pilker from Poland as we go into the last 6 minutes and 42 plus an additional lap. And the move has happened. Pilker has got past Christian Decline for second position. Now he's going to hunt down a fellow rival in the Junior Max class, and obviously someone who's going to have to compete against the Grand Finals in 2 weeks, and that guy's Vilgot Edquist. But it's all dependent on what happens between who's going to end up in third position in the championship, because it's been very, very close this year between Chris Harnan and Dan Ginchard. We'll find out a little bit later on when we can confirm who the top three are in the standings overall after the race weekend and the season, as Chris Harnan really having to battle with Oscar Christensen from Denmark for position. And that was the battle over 9th place, so I'm wondering if Chris Harnan has managed to get past the Dane, which I think he has. So I can just see out of my line of sight going through down towards turn 7 on the back straight. So we still have around about 5 minutes and 40 seconds on the clock remaining still to go in this final Junior Max race of the weekend and of the season. Vilgot Edquist now being hounded by Olli Pilker. So it's two drivers and it's switchbacks galore. Pilker powers past towards the outside of Vilgot Edquist, and this is allowing Christian Decline, the Christian Decline trying to mug the pair of them, and he does. He powers out of the corner perfectly. Nice job by Christian Decline to get past Pilker, and then Vilgot Edquist and Pilker try to respond. Pilker goes up the inside of the pair and makes the move to take the lead this time around. And Van Vugt, that was close. Danny Van Dijk tried to power out of turn number 3, nearly caught the back bumper and sent Mike Van Vugt spinning. And that was close. That was a heart in the mouth moment. But Pilker now back in front of Edquist for the lead. So effectively, Pilker is going to try and go for it. Edquist is... he's spinning off out on the outside of turn 7. Vilgot Edquist from second place trying to hound Pilker for the lead. And that's done it for the Swede. That's a real shame for the 3-0, the 205 there. He just went spinning as he tried to get past Pilker around the outside of turn 7. It wasn't going to happen. It wasn't going to work. And he bore the brunt of it there, did the young Swedish driver. That's a real shame, because he was definitely fighting for the victory. But now it is going to be between possibly one of 4 drivers, because I've just seen that Marlon Coppens now up into 5th place behind Mike Van Vugt. Vilgot Edquist actually has rejoined, but in 6th position. So that saved his bacon a little bit there, if I'm honest. 3 minutes and 50 plus an additional lap left to go. And Pilker leads from Decline by just over half a second. And then Danny Van Dijk and Mike Van Vugt in Broad and a battle royale over 3rd place. These two are teammates at JJ Racing. And the rain still falls down quite significantly here, as more drivers trying to take the outside run going into turn number 3. And, you can carry the momentum through that corner, and then all of a sudden you can put the power down and just explode out of the corner and make your way down towards turn 4. But sometimes it can be once bitten, twice shy. Let's be completely fair about that one. But Pilker still leading ahead of Christian Decline. Danny Van Dijk, Mike Van Vugt and Mylan Coppens. That's the top 5. We have less than 3 minutes of the season, plus an additional lap remaining. Chris Harnan, I've just spotted, and is ahead of the 216 of Flint Schuring. So Harnan now really trying to get some distance in terms of points between himself and Dan Ginchard for 3rd in the standings, as Matthew Higgins is battling away with Oscar Christensen for what is 11th position. So we go into the last 2 minutes and 25 seconds of the year for the BNL Karting Series for Junior Max. Pilker leads by over 8 tenths from Christian de Klein. Then it's Danny van Dijk in third, Mike van Voost in fourth, Mylan Coppins, Vilgot Edquist, Chris Harnan, Tom Heinertz, Flint Schuring, Spencer Schinner, Matthew Higgins, Oscar Christensen, Dan Genchard and Bart de Witt with Mogo Bonvoisin from France rounding out the top 15. Then we have Janssen, Zainen, Fixer, Rielert, Adams, Kalifadis, Castro, Breken, Knappen, Zopfi, Machiels, Genser, Mulder, Mulders, Webb, Surankov, Bergstein, Kirstens, Voisin and Peters. And that's the 34. They're still circulating. I'm really surprised because I thought there might have been a higher attrition rate, but it's mainly been attrition in terms of where you end up at the finish line, because the top three now surging their way down towards turn number 12, and the lap time's running in around about the 1:16s. So this will be the last full lap before the timer ticks away as Ollie Pilker crosses the stripe with 1 minute and 23 on the clock remaining. He's been running in the high 1 minute 16s, 1 minute 16.770 from the Polish driver, and that is the fastest lap of the race on lap 9. We're now on lap number 10, so with this plus 2 additional laps still to go. As Bonvoisin looks to have dropped down the order a little bit, as has Tom Adams by a couple of positions, as Georgios Kalifadis from Greece goes up into the top 20 now. Kai Rielert has also made up a position or two. Up to 18th goes the young Belgian. Drek Janssen and Lars Zainen now go into 15th and 16th, specifically as Jeffrey Fixer drops out of the top 15 now. Matthew Higgins is now up into 10th position, so the 275 now trying to use his weather skills to the ultimate test. There is a lot of standing water still here on the track, and it's only going to intensify with the rain still hitting down on the circuit quite hard. So 21 seconds remain on the clock as Pilker comes towards the final turn. So this time around it will be one more lap to go. There we go, 13 minutes are up. That is it, job done for the season. As, Danny van Dijk has got past Christian de Klein for second position. De Klein starting to struggle a little bit in the intensifying rainfall that we've got here, as more drivers trying to make the moves up the inside, as Matthew Higgins is having a real battle with Flint Schuring and goes up the inside of the 216 with Spencer Schinner in the 298 trying to make amends and try and get past. And with the amount of rainfall hitting the commentary box windows here at Karting Genk, it's starting to give me a bit of, not so much a headache, but a bit of a trial by fire here. The amount of intensifying rainfall that we've got. But this time around, the final lap board will be shown to Poland's Ollie Pilker, running on the Ralf Schumacher chassis, as we've got another spinner. Oh my goodness me! You think that drivers would be a bit more aware of where they are on the track and then go, I'm going to go, oh no, right, quick, hit the throttle, spin the back wheels and get the cart spun around, just by the nick of time I might say. But Pilker still leads, and the gap is now 2.145 seconds, final lap of the season. Mike van Voost up into 4th place, and I think might have done enough to get the job done for not just one, but looks to be 2 respective championships. Obviously Tom Heinertz running down in 8th position, was ahead of the Dutchman coming into this round. Obviously we'll find out the championship standings post any sporting and technical checks, and also any discussions post-race. But Pilker comes through turn 7 for the final time. So the 2:10, who normally runs with Dan Holland Racing, really has come to be a tour de force a little bit, and one of the drivers we need to watch next season in 2020. Comes out of turn 9, powers down towards turn 10 for the final time, does the youngster. So through turn 10, now exits turn 11, does Ollie Pilker, and the checker flag will now be brandished and be prepared to be waved as Ollie Pilker from Poland, the 210, takes a well-deserved victory For the final race of the 2019 BNL Karting Series Junior Max season, Danny Van Dijk in second, Christian de Klein in third, Mike Van Voot looks behind, crosses the start-finish line in fourth place. Mylan Coppens gets pipped by Vilgot Edqvist for fifth. Chris Harnan in seventh place at the end of that. Rounding up the top 15 were Tom Heinitz, Spencer Schiller in the 298, Matthew Higgins in 10th place in the 275, Oscar Christensen 11th, Flint Schuring in 12th. Dan Ginchard brings his season to an end with the 13th place finish. Bart DeWitt and Lars Zanen complete the top 15. And rounding out the order, in 16th, Drake Janssen, 17th, Jeffrey Fixer, Kai Hillertz, Margot Bonvoisin from France and Georgios Kalifadis from Greece round out the top 20. Completing the running order, Jules Castro, Tom Adams, Tom Breken, Jeff Machiels, Bruno Molders, Nikita Genza, Jano Zopfi, Max Knappen, Summer Webb, Sam Bergstein, Callum Voisin, Wout Kerstjens, Daniel Sorankov and George Peters. But we'll confirm by our social media channels once we have the official ratification on who our 2019 Junior Max champion is a bit later on this afternoon. So 2 more races to go for the 2019 BNL Karting Series season. Good to see that my good friend and series organiser Dave Ritson is having a look over the weekend results that are starting to come through here in the commentary box. But we have a race to attend to. DD2 and DD2 Masters season finale. Race 4 of the weekend. Race 12 of the season. The best 10 scores go towards the championship hunt. And we've got the following grid. Zander Schiblach in pole position alongside will be Sweden's David Remy in the 455. Dionysis, or DJ Libris as is more commonly known, especially by his Instagram account, starts on third alongside Lasse Andreasen. Christoph Leinen and Jan Negussens round out row number 3. Sebastian de Grand and Christoph Adams, that's row 4. Jordi Klerbot and Fritz Wernsen, that's the top 10 completed. Ahead of Carl Klerbot, father of Jordi no less, and the fastest baker in Flanders, he starts 11th, ahead of Michael Becker from Germany. And then we've got Jamie Billings, Andreas Schindler, Tamsin Germain, Konrad Bayer, Silvio Piparato from Germany, Wout Antonissen, Roland Kinch, Wout Colson, and I kind of thought it with one DNS, one non-start, Ronald Billings would not be joining us for the final race of the season. So a big thank you to him for that. So 13 minutes set on the clock, and closing the action a little bit later, well, not too far away. It is the final race of the season. Senior Max closes out the action, and I simply cannot wait. But DD2 and DD2 Masters, it looks like we have one champion, I think, pretty much confirmed. But I'll wait until the race ends to tell you that one. But it's very close at DD2 because Zandvoort Shriblack and DNS Slivers were 13 points adrift coming into this round, not including drop scores. But Shriblack has had the measure of the field. He is the defending champion. Could he make it 2 successive years on the trot here this weekend? We'll find out in around about 13 or so minutes time. Probably make that 14 and a half. Red lights ignited on the starting gantry for the final time. The final time for this class, but the penultimate time of the 2019 season. The rain continues to fall plentiful here in Karting Genk, but the action is only going to get hot, and that's under the collar. As we wait for the drivers to get into formation, which they are starting to do now, being led by Zandvoort Shriblack and David Remy. Being told to slow a little bit to get them all into rolling start formation. So they come around the final corner. Here we go. Lights on the starting gantry, ready to go out at a moment's notice. They put the accelerators down as hard as they can, despite the wet weather conditions. And we go lights out for the final time in DD2 and DD2 Masters. What a start from David Remy. Absolutely blasted past us. DNS Slivers just absolutely threw it up the inside of everybody and tried to go for the lead. Zandvoort Shriblack back on terms at the front of the field, and then David Remy slingshots past the pair of them. Shriblack down into third. Liveris takes the lead. Shriblack up into second. Does he go for the lead? No. And he has to slot back into third. That's a great initial, hard-fought, clean exchange between the top three. But DNS Slivers now in the lead ahead of David Remy. Zandvoort Shriblack now trailing in third position. What a lightning start from the Greek driver with Dames Racing. And that's an explosive way to start the final race of the season, DJ Liveris, you absolute animal. As David Remy goes up the inside of the Greek driver to take the lead back. And now Zandvoort Shriblack getting stuck in, and it's definitely kicking off all the way up and down the field. So they're coming through down into turn 10 to make their way to complete what has been an explosive first lap, if ever I saw it, through DD2 and DD2 Masters. Liveris leads. Shriblack shoots past Remy. Oh, that was a bit naughty there, I must say. A little bit of a touch from rear bumper to front bumper as Shriblack went for it, went to close round the outside of Remy, made the move with the slightest amount of contact. DNS Slivers gets a little bit sideways as he puts the power down, coming out of the final corner. But there have been quite a few changes. So Liveris leads from Shriblack. It's game on. I don't think it's going to be enough, but let's see how much things can change in the next few moments, because DNS Slivers was like a Greek minotaur just charging his way to the front of the field, and he's made it happen. Zandvoort Shriblack's got to watch his back bumper because he's got David Remy chasing him down like it was going out of fashion. Lassie Andresen and Christoph Leinen round out the top 5, so Leinen now leads the DD2 Masters classification in this race. Carl Kleebold in the meantime has got up to 9th place and is just behind fellow Belgian Christoph Adams in the 555. A big rooster tail from someone's right rear tyre going through the exit of turn number 8 as the top 3 pulling away quite considerably. It was over 7/10 of a second last time around as DNS Slivers has to keep the cart under control as Shriblack gets an absolute run of momentum, goes right round the outside and does exactly the same thing to DNS Slivers as Slivers fights back and says, "You want to play rough? I'll play rough. I'll have it back off you, clean and fair." And he does so right then. Shriblack going back up in the inside for the lead. He can't get through, but Liveris goes wide. Shriblack goes back into the lead. Cut back from Liveris, trying to go round the outside, and he makes it stick going into turn 3. This is absolutely brilliant. DNS Slivers said, post the final race at Marienburg, saying, "I wanted a fight." Well, my friend, you've got one. Zandvoort Shriblack is definitely giving no quarter. He wants to defend his title, but he's got to be very, very careful that he doesn't overstep the boundaries in terms of driving standards. So the top three pretty much with each other, but Liver's trying to get away from Schiblak and Remy, not letting them breathe easily right now. And a little bit further down the order, Christoph Leinen up into 4th place, having got past Lasse Andreasen. Christoph Adams now in 2nd in the DD2 Masters classification, running 6th ahead of Jan Negusson, Sebastian Legrand and Carl Klerbot rounds out the top 3. Tamsin Germain's absolutely having a brilliant race, up into 10th place now, and that makes her 4th in the class in DD2 Masters. So Tamsin Germain took a win earlier on this weekend, yesterday thereof. So let's see what her times are at the minute. 1 minute 17.2. That's not too bad. It's actually a lot quicker than the likes of Jan Negusson and Sebastian Legrand, as Schiblak really putting the pressure onto Dionysius Livris, and Livris is definitely making sure that Schiblak knows that he has got to fight for that victory to close out his season. If Zander Schiblak wants it bad enough, he'll do it, but he can't do it by any means necessary. But Livris goes wide off of turn 6. Schiblak retakes the lead. Livris gives him a little love tap from behind on the back bumper, and bump drives him all the way down to turn 7. They've got to be careful. Obviously, the front fairings are checked post-race. Excuse me. But David Remy, whilst the two at the front have been battling, David Remy has been like a silent Swedish assassin, trying to keep on the back bumper of the pair of them. And he's running on the back bumper of Dionysius Livris as Schiblak trying to power away from the Greek driver in the 436. So 8 minutes and 15 plus an additional lap left to go in the penultimate race of the 2019 BNL Karting Series season here at Karting Genk. So Schiblak gets a better hole shot coming out of that corner, going into turn 12. Remy trying to keep Dionysius Livris very, very honest here. But Livris is trying to fight that kart as he powers out of the final corner. Seems to be a characteristic with the setup he's probably got on there. But Remy closes up in the braking zone. Can't go past quite yet as Dionysius Livris takes a very, very tight defensive line coming out of turn number 2 into turn 3. Now into the left at 4, into 5. Now this is very reminiscent of the turn 7 triple left at Istanbul Park when Turkey used to host a Formula 1 Grand Prix. But it's still an impressive sight. The amount of momentum carry they get through it is incredible. Once they get the run coming out of turn number 3. But Schiblak now has a lead. It was just over 6/10 last time around. Dionysius Livris has got to wait. Well, he's got to try and defend now, because whilst Schiblak is getting away, Remy is not letting him breathe at all, by any stretch of the imagination. Half a car length between the pair, nearly side by side coming out of turn number 9. And Remy's got the whole shot. He's going down into turn 10. He bumps, gives a little tap from behind to Dionysius Livris, and goes up the inside of the Greek driver to take second through turn 11. Livris takes a quick glance over the left shoulder to see where Christoph Leinen is, and knows that he's now got to really fight for it, because that's allowed son of Schiblak to canter away. Schiblak now crosses the line. We have 6 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap to go. Remy in second, 1.9 seconds adrift. That's how much Livris has been battling and defending against Remy, and that has just allowed son of Schiblak to just get away and run away with it. But then this is so if Schiblak is champion-elect, who's going to be second in the standings? It's still all to play for. And in the meantime, Christoph Leinen still is only 3.5 seconds behind the leader. Christoph Leinen is showing a good turn of pace. He's been running in the 1 minute 15s, high 1:15s, low 1:16s. He was actually 0.6 of a second quicker than DJ Livris on that last lap. 1 minute 16.009, and Livris was exactly 0.6 of a second slower. And now Christoph Leinen is closing on DJ Livris. The rain again starting to fall down even heavier right now. And this is really going to put, someone's got a lot of steam coming from the back of their cart. Looks like someone's gone through a major puddle or gone off track, and has gone off track and has spun at turn 7. Who's that? That looks to be an RS competition kart by my reckoning. That could be maybe Konrad Bayer by my reckoning. So literally went flying into turn 7 and couldn't put on the brakes soon enough, and it just spat the back end out and put the driver 180 degrees pointing the wrong way. So Schiblak now has a lead of just over 2 seconds from David Remy from Sweden. Dionysius Livris 2.88 seconds away from Schiblak. The time is fast clicking away. It's under 5 minutes to go, plus an additional lap in this final race of their season. And at the minute, DJ Livris really needs to keep an eye out, because Christoph Leinen is pretty much close on pace. Last time around, Leinen did a 1 minute 15.738, and he was slightly quicker than Dionysius Livris. There's a nice little battle here. That's between the 5.15 of Andreas Schindler and probably Silvio Piparato, I think. Two German drivers going at it out on track in terms of battling each other. So 4 minutes 20 plus an additional lap. And just seeing a few more drivers starting to make their way up the order. Tamsin Germain still in 10th place and is still sitting. Well, she's now sitting in 4th place in class, but a top 10 finish to see out the season wouldn't be a bad run at all for Tamsin Germain. So Sebastian Legrand is ahead of Karl Klevort in 9th place. Janne Gussen still sitting in 7th behind Lasse Andresen in 5th, and Christoph Adams in the 555 in 6th place. So we have 3 minutes and 40 plus an additional lap to go. Sander Triblack has a lead of now over 2.1 seconds ahead of David Remy from Sweden. Then it's DJ Livris from Greece in 3rd place. Christoph Leinen in Belgium, from Belgium in 4th. Lasse Andresen 5th. Christoph Adams, Jan Negussen, Sebastian Ducrond, Karl Klibort, Tamsin Germain, Fritz Wernsten, and I was right, it was Conrad Bayer who's tumbled right down to the back end of the order in 20th, who went spinning off at turn 7 a few moments ago. Jamie Billings in 12th, Michael Becker in 13th, Roland Kinch, Andreas Schindler, who got past Silvio Piparato for 15th just a moment ago. Wout Antonissen, Wout Colson, Jordi Klerbord has tumbled all the way down to 19th place, and Conrad Bayer is still circulating in 20th. So we're coming into the last just under 3 minutes of this season, plus an additional lap. And the gap now, nearly 2.5 seconds between first and second place. As there's been another change, Janne Gussens has dropped down a couple of further places as Sebastian Legrand and Karl Klevort have now gotten past the 490. And Janne Gussens has got Tamsin Germain not that far behind, as Germain did a 1 minute 16.417. Janne Gussens did a 1 minute 15.7. So Tamsin is about just under a second off of Janne Gussens for 9th place. And Sander Triblack casually, calmly makes his way down into turn 10. Around 2 minutes on the clock remaining. David Remy and DJ Livris round out the top 3. Still a very tall and tricky order for all of the drivers out there, braving the elements to try and put on a show, and we definitely got one at the beginning of this race. I don't know how Dionysius Livris, or DJ as I'm now going to call him from now on, because if everyone says, well, what do you call him, Dionysius and then DJ? Well, I know him as DJ as a friend, but he's also Dionysius, so that's when I originally started commentating on the BNL last year. But DJ, trying to do his best. He tried to get a win at the end of the season. It wasn't enough, but he's having to settle for 3rd this time around in this race. But all results are provisional when they're called out by myself on the live stream and the commentary here. It's pending any sporting and technical regulations and any discussions with that race control might be having post-race. So at the moment we are into the last 60 seconds of the DD2 and DD2 Masters season, plus one additional lap. So Sander Triblack at the moment coming through the exit at turn number 9, down into turn 10 he comes. So there he is, just calmly getting on with the business at hand. So he goes through the final corner. Puts the power down, comes across the start-finish line with around 27 or so seconds remaining. Make that 26. So this is the penultimate lap of the season. And his gap between himself and David Remy is now 2.737 seconds. DJ Livris now 5.663 seconds off of the leader in 3rd place. Great showing from Christoph Leinen in 4th, 8.9 seconds adrift, as we're getting a nice little battle going into the final corner, a little bit further down the order. And one of them looks to be the 442 of Jamie Billings, and it's the 527 of Fritz Wernsen. So that's a great battle over what is 12th position on the road, 12th and 11th respectively. So Billings is ahead of the Belgian. As Zander Triblak, as we've got yellow flags, and someone has spun, that is Conrad Bayer, I believe, once again. So, yep, that is the case, and he puts the throttle down quite vigorously coming out of turn number 11. So the yellow flag is being retracted, and Zander Triblak makes his way out of turn 11 for the penultimate time of the season, and just powers down towards turn 12 to come across the start-finish line. One more lap to go for Zander Triblak here on home soil in Belgium. David Remy a little bit further adrift. It's going to be over 3 seconds this time, 3.46, as DJ Liveris comes across the line to take third. Christoph Leinen still keeping pace, but Lasse Andreasen is closing, and last time around was a little bit quicker, about 2.5 tenths. So, but nevertheless, Christoph Leinen looking to possibly take a class win at the end of this season. So that'd be a good way for the 588. And Zander Triblak now comes through turn 8 for the final time of asking. Just calmly makes it through. As we've got a little bit of a battle between Wout Coulson and Jordi Klebold in the dying stages for 18th place, but through turn 10 for the final time. Through the left-hander at turn 11, sprinting down towards the final corner of the season, the checkered flag is now being prepared. And from Belgium, with the Bouvin power embroiled on his side pods, Zander Triblak takes the final win of the season, and I think he knows what has happened. I think he's done the double. He took the title last year. I think provisionally, I think he's our champion again this season. 2 for 2 in a row. David Remy takes second. 3.881 seconds adrift of the Belgian. DJ Liveris from Greece tried to fight at the beginning, gave us all something to cheer about in terms of adrenaline and excitement. Ended up third at the end of it. Lasse Andreasen would take fourth. Christoph Leinen ends his DD2 Masters season in the BNL Karting Series with a class win, just under 0.6 of a second ahead of fellow DD2 Masters competitor Christoph Adams. So Leinen takes 5th, Adams takes 6th and 2nd in the DD2 Masters. Sebastian Neugrand in 7th. Karl Klebold, I think, pretty much has taken the DD2 Masters title this season. And what a run from him this year he's had. So, Karl Klebold, provisionally speaking, is the DD2 Masters champion. But on the screens, for those watching at home, that, provisionally speaking, is your DD2 champion for 2019. Zander Triblak, the 412 from Bouvin Power from Belgium. What a way to close out a season. Rounding out the order, it is Karl Klebold in 8th, Yanni Gussens in 9th. Tamsin Germain rounds out the top 10 overall and finishes 4th in DD2 Masters. Then it is Jamie Billings, Fritz Wernsen, Michael Becker, Andreas Schindler, Silvio Piperato, Wout Antonissen, Jordi Klebold, Wout Coulson, Konrad Bayer and Roland Kinch rounding out the 20 strong. And that concludes the DD2 and DD2 Masters campaigns for the BNL Karting Series in 2019. So, now we turn our attention to the final race of the 2019 BNL Karting Series season. It's always sad when I say those sort of words when it comes to the end of a championship. But it's been an exciting 11th season for the BNL Karting Series, looking to go into further prominence next season for the 12th running of the championship. And we will find out that we will have a new Senior Max champion in 2019. I'm sure that Siobhan and Joe Turney are watching the stream if they are able to. It's good to have the welcome comments from yourselves on the BNL Karting Series Facebook page, amongst other social media platforms, which we are on a variety of at the moment. But very shortly, we go into battle one final time here at the home of champions. So, 36 drivers take to the grid one final time. Senior Max, and it's the last race of the season. 13 minutes on the clock, plus an additional lap set to get underway very shortly. The red lights will be on the starting gantry very, very soon as well. And your grid is as follows. On pole position from the Netherlands, it's Mick Knowlton. Clayton Ravenscroft, one of the two title protagonists coming into this round, is alongside him on the front row. Jason Lockwood and Dylan LaHaye, row 2. Charlie Turner, Nelson King, row 3. Matilda Olsson and James Lingard, row 4. Ilian Brunsils and Kieran Gifford, that completes the top 10. Nick van der Mosselaar in the 318. Fabian Bock in the 313. The 330 of Will Jenkins, the 307 of Felix Vargier, the 325 of Tom Edmonds, the 316 of Eduardo Cosseteng, Guilherme de Oliveira on the 312, the 375 of Lorenzo Stolk, the 387 of Clémentine Benoit, and the 329 of Lewis Gilbert rounds out the top 20. And completing the 36 strong, it's Sam Harrison, Teddy Clinton, Mario Sidler, Andreas Hebel, Kian Sang, Maxim Turiev from Russia, Storm Breur, Bram Ossevarde, Patrick Grunquist, Yash Ramajankan, Victor Plateau, Endo Shogo, Ben Donkin, Emily de Hoys, Vincent van Kerkhoffen, and Zen Rudenberg. So it looks like there was a change post-race after the second chance heat a little bit late earlier on today. So it's going to be an interesting one over the next 13 minutes plus an additional lap. As I alluded to earlier, we will confirm every single champion and every single person in the championship standings and the weekend winners, of course, a little bit later on our various social media channels through Facebook, Twitter, and also Instagram as well. So, Knowlton and Ravenscroft, Lockwood, LaHaye, Turner, King, Olsson, Lingard, Brunsils, Gifford, van der Mosselaar, Bock, Jenkins. Vargier doesn't look to have... he's not starting this one, so we're down to 35 already. So, Felix Vargier will now not take part in this race. So it's Nick van der Mosselaar, Bock, Jenkins, Edmonds, Cosseteng, de Oliveira, Stolk, Benoit, Gilbert, Harrison, Clinton, Sidler, Hebel, Sang, Turiev, Breur, Ossevarde, Rundqvist, Ramjankan, Plateau, Shogo, Donkin, De Hoys, Van Kerkhoffen and Rudenberg. That's the 35 that will take to the asphalt here at the 1,360 metre circuit, simply known as the home of champions. We go into turn 11 on the formation lap as everyone gears themselves up, primes themselves, and maybe, who knows what the red mist behind the visors will bring very shortly. The red lights ignite on the starting gantry for the final time in 2019. They come round the final corner. They go into the tram lines. The engines roar up the rev range. Do we go lights out for the final time this season? Yes, we do. And Ravenscroft gets an absolute blistering start, followed quickly by LaHaye. Knowlton down to third already. And Ravenscroft's gone off. He's gone off of turn number 2. Disaster for the 399. There's absolute mayhem off of turn 2. 2, 3, 4, 5 drivers, including Ravenscroft, have been compromised, and someone's taken a very cheeky little shortcut there that will definitely be investigated, I feel. But drama for Clayton Ravenscroft in the final race of the season. He went round to turn 2, possibly it might have been out of his control, but he's managed to rejoin. But at the minute, Dylan LaHaye now in the lead of the race. Charlie Turner in second. Well, he was in second because Mick Knowlton just went up the inside of him. Nelson King in 4th place. So an absolute mess happening through the exit of turn 2 into turn 3. And the runoff areas, because the rain has been intensifying, that's made that slicker than an ice rink, and people have just tried to go round, because they can use it on the first lap, but it just caused absolute mayhem and pandemonium, and I can just see the amount of rallycross style 11s down on the exit of turn number 2, heading into turn 3, as they now come around to complete lap number 1, and it's a GKS 1-2. Mick Knowlton leading, Dylan LaHaye in second, Charlie Turner in third, Nelson King, Ilian Brunstils, Matilda Olson, Kieran Gifford, Will Jenkins, Tom Edmonds, Lorenzo Stolk, Eduardo Costetang now up into 11th ahead of Mario Sidler, Sam Harrison, Andres Hebau and Lewis Gilbert all the way up into 15th already. And there's another cart off of now who is that? I'm just seeing where now Ravenscroft all the way down in 31st. Who is that? That's Jason Lockwood. Lockwood lost it going into turn 2. It looks like he was down in 17th. So now that's really, really hurt his chances of getting a good finish towards the end of the season. But now it is going to be GKS Lemons Power on home soil against Dan Holland Racing. It's a 1-2 for GKS. DHR it's a 3-4. And it looks like Matilda Olson now is in 5th place. Now where is Ilian Brunstils in all of this? He's actually dropped back a little bit behind the Swedish driver who captured the 2019 Roadsax Max Euro Trophy Senior Max Crown a bit earlier on this year, first weekend, as there's a great battle there, looks like between Will Jenkins and Kieran Gifford. That is over 7th place, as the leader comes across the line to complete lap number, that looks to be lap number 2 now. And at the moment, well, that's James Lingard, I think, who's now decided to park it, or didn't even make it past lap 1, unfortunately. And in the meantime, just keeping an eye where... Now, Clayton Ravenscroft is starting to fight back. He had that spin off of turn number 2. And he's now up to 27th position. So Mick Knowlton leading Dylan LaHaye by a comfortable 1.3 seconds. Charlie Turner only about half a second adrift of Dylan LaHaye in 3rd. And then it's Nelson King. So 2nd to 4th are starting to close up a little bit. Matilda Olson, what's the pace she's setting at the moment? 1 minute 16.7. So about a second off of like LaHaye. So LaHaye, Turner and King. Knowlton's the fastest one out there. He's comfortably trying to stretch that advantage. 9 minutes and 33 of the season, plus an additional lap left to go here in the final race of the season. So, and Charlie Turner is actually quicker than Dylan LaHaye at the moment. So he wants to keep himself in pretty good fighting form, I think, in preparation for next season. He's just come here to enjoy himself, have some good racing, hard but fair. Now, where is Clayton Ravenscroft in all of this? Because he was 27th last time around, as Sam Harrison and Andreas Herbal have got past Tom Edmonds for 11th and 12th respectively. Ravenscroft now into the top 25. He's 24th at the moment, is the Brit. As there's a little bit of tussling a bit further down the order, just in front of so Eduardo Costetang trying to go up the inside of Sam Harrison. Nearly the Brit having to hang on and fight for that place. So 1 minute, 1.4 seconds now separates first and second. So Knowlton consistently lapping in the 1 minute 15 twos and threes at the minute. He just did a 1 minute 15.324. So we'll see what happens as drivers trying to jockey for position. Brunstils is being aggressively attacked, I must say, from Will Jenkins in the 330 from KR Sport, as more drivers trying to find their way past others. As the 375, no, that's the 375 of Lorenzo Stolk trying to go up the inside of Kieran Gifford for position. Gifford's going to keep it around the outside, but Stolk goes up the inside, gets the run on the 330 of Jenkins, and then gets a little bit of an assist. And that was very close indeed for Kieran Gifford as he went up the inside of the pair of them. That's an absolutely blinding move, but then it's put it 3 wide coming out of turn 2. Kieran Gifford knew that he's going to try and chance it, but it wasn't going to happen. He's going to go up the inside, maybe the pair of them. Is he? No, he makes it past one, and that was Lorenzo Stolk he got past. So Kieran Gifford clearly putting all at risk, including his safety, but he's managing to make sure it's quite firm and fair out there at the minute. The lead at the moment is now 1.6 seconds between Mick Knowlton and Dylan LaHaye. Third is Charlie Turner, who's 2.3 seconds off of Mick Knowlton, as we now approach 7 minutes and 5 seconds plus an additional lap left to go in this season, plus an additional lap. So we'll have about 8 or so minutes of action, make that 8 minutes and 15, depending on when they cross the line. So, top 15 in the moment. Knowlton leads from LaHaye, Turner, King, Olson, Brunsils, Jenkins, Stork, Gifford, Harrison, Kossetang, Hebauer, Edmonds, Brewer and Sidler. And it has been confirmed that James Lingard is an official retirement. Felix Fargier did not start the race. And now, Ravenscroft is making some progress, but it's not going to help him. He's 22nd at the moment, but he's lapping. No, he's not. He's 19th. He's just taken another 3 positions on that, make that 4 positions on that lap. He was 22nd. He's now 19th. He's going to be closing on Guilherme de Oliveira, who's about a 10th or so in front. And I'm just having a look at the times. He's about 2 seconds adrift of Tom Edmonds in 15th. So he's making steady progress, but probably at what he considers steady progress. Maybe steady progress would be considered a position or 2. But then when it comes to Senior Max, if it's steady progress, you're probably talking 2 to 3 positions a lap if you really are on the pace. And he is on the pace. He's running quite quickly. Last time around he did a 1 minute 16.332. He's running in the 1:16.1s at his very, very best. It's Clayton Ravenscroft. But Mick Knowlton has just gone sub 65 seconds. 1 minute 14.964 on lap number 4. He now completed lap number 6. And his lead now over Dylan LaHaye is 2.361 seconds. Charlie Turner third, a further 0.778 adrift. Nelson King in fourth, Matilda Olson in fifth, and quite lonely out there at the moment, so Olson just keeping it quite steady, using this as a test bed to really find out what the Sodi kart chassis that she'll be using, which she'll officially be using that at the Grand Finals in just 2 weeks. As another change for position here, as that's very, very close indeed. And it's the 330 of Will Jenkins, who took a little bit too much, I think, got a bit greedy at turn number 5. And that's allowing Sam Harrison to try and keep on level pegging with him, as Mick Knowlton now comes through turn number 9 and powers down all the way down to turn 10. Meanwhile, Dylan LaHaye is being kept a little bit honest by Charlie Turner. Turner went quicker in the first sector by about 2 tenths and then lost out 4 tenths in sector 2 to Dylan LaHaye. 4 minutes and 23 plus an additional lap. Positional changes. Ravenscroft is now past de Oliveira. Lockwood up into 19th behind his KR Sport teammate. So 3 drivers from KR Sport completing the top 20. So Ravenscroft last time around did a 1 minute 16.993. He's going to try and get past traffic, and he's got past. It looks like just seeing where Ravenscroft is at the moment. He's passed. Yeah, he's 17th now. He's got past Lewis Gilbert and Tom Edmonds. So Ravenscroft just did a 1 minute 17.524, but he's trying to get past traffic as quickly as he humanly can. But time is fast running out, because I think the title has gone one particular way, and unfortunately it might not be in his favour, as he came into this round with it. As we've said, someone else has gone rally crossing off of the outside of turn number 5. So Lorenzo Stolk has got past Will Jenkins for 7th position. We're getting very, very close towards the last 180 seconds plus an additional lap, as there is an absolute squabble going on. And a lot of it is KR Sport colours, including maybe a Persistence motorsport driver, which looks to be Lewis Gilbert in the middle of all that. So Knowlton has the lead now of nearly 3 seconds over Dylan LaHaye. Charlie Turner still in third. King. Now comes Olson across the finish line in 5th place. Then it's Lorenzo Stolk who's got past Ilian Brunsils. Will Jenkins, Andreas Hebauer, Kieran Gifford, Sam Harrison, Eduardo Kossetang, Storm Brewer, Maxime Turiev and Mario Sidler round out the top 15. And between Sidler and Ravenscroft is now in 17th, as de Oliveira has got past Tom Edmonds for 18th. So Ravenscroft is about half a second adrift of Lockwood, but then he's got a further 4 tenths as the sun now actually peers through the clouds and starts beaming down a little bit too late, I think, for the driver's liking, or tried to just then. We've got a bit more light shining down on the track here. So, 120 seconds and an additional lap still to go in this season. As Mick Knowlton just calmly getting on with the task at hand. Dylan LaHaye just trying to make no mistakes at all in the last few dying moments of this season. And he's been running with GKS for around 7 seasons, this one included. Charlie Turner doing a great job just sort of keeping pace, and he's actually slightly quicker than Dylan LaHaye. He's running in 3rd at the moment. Nelson King 4th, Olson 5th, Stolk, as Lewis Gilbert unfortunately has parked it, so that's the Scots diamond display coming to an abrupt end there, unfortunately. So that's a real shame for Lewis Gilbert, with having just parked it with a couple of laps remaining in this race. So Ravenscroft has got past Mario Sidler. He's working with Jason Lockwood, it seems, to try and do his best to get some points before the end of the season. Ben Donkin has dropped all the way back down towards the tail end, Charlie of the field, down to 33rd position. As we now go into the last 60 seconds, 50 on the clock, plus an additional lap. Mick Knowlton comes through the right-hander at turn 10, which has been a bit treacherous, but has also provided us with some great action this weekend here at Karting Genk. Sam Harrison gets past Kieran Gifford for 10th place on the last tour. As Mick Knowlton powers out of the final corner, this time around it's going to be the penultimate lap of the season. Dylan LaHaye just keeping the blinkers on, looking forward and just looking to cross that finish line. That's all he needs to do now, and he's doing that quite nicely. So Ben Donkin also has called it a day for the weekend and for the BNL Karting Series season. A real shame for the 348 from the United Kingdom. So that's it. The final countdown has been ended. That is it. That's over. This is the penultimate lap of the race, let alone the season. And we're going to have a very, very happy individual in just a couple of moments' time when he crosses the finish line. So Mick Knowlton comes down to turn 10. It's the penultimate time of the season, but it's great to see him back to winning ways this year, having taken one of the qualification heats earlier on today. And always had a great camaraderie with him and his dad Noel as well. So really good to see them back in the paddock. Last time I saw them was at Marienburg back in early July. But one more lap to go for Mick Knowlton. Dylan LaHaye has got the sign that he needs. Takes a glance over the right shoulder and sees where Charlie Turner is. Nelson King still in 4th place, ahead of Matilda Olson. It's still very much just a moment to savour for one particular individual, because it looks like there's going to be another driver that's going to be thanking his lucky stars that he's off to Sono in a couple of weeks' time, provisionally speaking. As there's more battles up and down the order, more positional changes. Sam Harrison 9th, Kieran Gifford past Andreas Hebauer for 10th place, Jason Lockwood 14th, Ravenscroft I think has sort of said, well, I've tried my best, I'm going to have to settle for 16th position, and that's what he's having to do. But we come towards the final few corners of the season. Mick Knowlton heads into turn 10 for the final time in the lead with a comfortable gap, a comfortable buffer to his fellow GKS Lemons Power teammate Dylan LaHaye. Round the final corner to take the final checkered flag of the season from the Netherlands. GKS's very own Mick Knowlton. Dylan LaHaye is going to cross it in second. Let's see if we get any emotional response. Not quite yet, but let's see. He's going to slow down. But I think the title is provisionally his. I'm not going to count my chickens before I hatch. That's why I said the word provisionally. But he has done. Well done to Dylan LaHaye. Looks like he's taken the... He's now being the new champion crowned after Joe Turney, taking second. Charlie Turner in third. Nelson King in fourth. Matilda Olson in fifth. Lorenzo Stolk finished ahead of William Brunsils at the end of the race. Well, Stolk finished ahead of Will Jenkins, Sam Harrison, Kieran Gifford. Ilian Brunsils finished in 10th. Ahead of Andreas Hebauer, Jason Lockwood, Storm Brewer, Clayton Ravenscroft would cross the line for the final time this season in the BNL Karting Series, just ahead of fellow KR Sport teammate from the Philippines, Eduardo Constantine, who rounded out the top 15. Maxim Turiev, Mario Sidler, Guilherme de Oliveira, Nick van der Mosselar, Teddy Clinton, Tom Edmonds, Patrick Grunquist, Victor Plateau, Zen Rudenberg, Emily de Hoys, Fabian Bock, Bram Osivarde, Kian Sang, Endo Shogo, Clementine Benoit. Looks like there's one kart that's a GKS kart that's just a bit forlorn, unfortunately. That will be recovered very soon. Lam Jankan was down in 31st ahead of Vincent Van Kerkhoffen with Ben Donkin, Lewis Gilbert and James Lingard not completing the race with Felix Varget, a non-starter. And that concludes what's been an exciting 2019 BNL Karting Series season. So, that's it. The 2019 BNL Karting Series season comes to an end here as the sun tries to break its way through the clouds here at Karting Genk, the home of champions. Thank you ever so much for everyone tuning in here on Downforce Radio, the nation's motorsport station. We'll be back with BNL Race Day Live next season when we can confirm when the calendar is via our relevant social media channels. Don't forget to follow us at Downforce Radio on Twitter, at Downforce Motorsport on Instagram. You can also type in Downforce Radio on the search engines on your Facebook profiles, and also why not head to our website downforceracing.uk. This is Alex Goldschmidt, the official Downforce Radio communications manager and also the BNL Karting Series official commentator, signing off from the home of champions, Karting Genk. We'll see you next season and stay tuned for some exciting Race Day Live developments. Thank you for listening.